Hi gang! In this module of the Facebook for Beginners course, we're going to take a look at the different ways that you can interact on Facebook. Now this is really going to be the meat and potatoes, the way most people interact. We've already gone through the privacy settings and adjusted and controlling visibility so that you can comfortably post whatever it is that you want to post. Specifically, we're going to look at status updates, sharing photos and videos with your friends on Facebook, and interacting with that content that your friends produce as well. That includes commenting on what they put out there and liking that. It's kind of just a little endorsement. We'll take a look at tagging photographs and how you identify people in photographs that you share as well, and a couple of other pieces too. But let's jump right into it. First, the status update is the very basic form of communicating in Facebook. This little status update window is available both on your timeline/profile or your newsfeed page. And without any trickery or any ninja tricks or anything at all, you can just click in that box and start typing your comment. So in this case, I just returned from a trip to the infamous Casa Bonita restaurant in Denver. So I just type my message, I click post, and boom, it's done. That status update now appears on my timeline/profile, and because it appears there, it also appears in the news feed of my friends, the people I'm connected with on Facebook and my network there. But I can make this a little bit more interactive as well. So Casa Bonita happens to have a website. I can go visit that website, copy that URL of the website, and then go back to Facebook and paste that URL in my status update. In this case, I've just appended it to my message. And what I'm doing here is creating a link within my status update, a link to that website. As soon as I've posted this URL, I don't even have to click send yet, but Facebook is automatically going to go out to that website and pull in some information. It's going to bring in a description of the website here, and it's going to give me a thumbnail picture here. In this case, it's given me an option of up to 9 thumbnails that it's pulled in from that website. I can just toggle through with this arrow and select the one that I like, or I can click to not have a thumbnail there at all. There's a couple of other things though that I can add to this post as well. This little icon here with the figure of a person's head plus means that I can connect a person that was with me. So in this case, I went to Casa Bonita with my friend Dane. I can connect him and add a link to Dane's profile right here in my status update by clicking that button. I can also click on this one. This is a icon of a little thumbtack. You'll see this in map applications like Google Maps. If I click this, the drop down is going to open up and I can start typing Casa Bonita. And if Casa Bonita has a page on Facebook, it's going to pull up there. I can click that and it's going to create that link to Casa Bonita. So let me show you what I mean. So you can see I've added a link to my friend Dane because he was with me, and I added a link to the Facebook property of Casa Bonita, and right down here is a link to the web property, just the Casa Bonita's website, not Facebook. Now another cool thing is this text that Facebook imported from the website is something that I can edit. So if I don't like that or if I want to customize it, all I have to do is click on that text and edit it to say exactly what I want, and then click update, or rather it's post, not update. So I click post, and I've then created my interactive status update. So that's pretty simple. It's well and good, but you can attach other things as well, not just a link. I can upload a photograph or a video, and this is pretty slick. It's a really elegant process that lets me share video. So I'm going to update my status in the same way that I attached that website from Casa Bonita. I went out to YouTube, did a search on Casa Bonita, and found a video. I grabbed the URL and pasted it right here in my status update. And again, Facebook goes out and pulls in this information. It gives me a little thumbnail, a little description, again, which I can edit. And once I've clicked post, and of course I added my comment there as well, but once I've clicked post, that video is then embedded in my status update. And by embedded, I mean when somebody comes over here and clicks this play button, they don't even have to leave Facebook. That video is going to play right within Facebook. So that's how I upload media from a link. It's already out there on the web. But what if I want to share a photograph that's on my computer? I can go into my status update box, I can type my message, and I'm going to click photograph, and then I'm going to click the upload an image option. When I click that, it's going to let me navigate on my own computer to wherever it is that I have the photograph that I want to share. I'll click on that photograph, upload it, and my status update is going to render with that photograph resized. The cool thing is I don't have to edit my photograph. Facebook is going to adjust that photograph so that it fits within this space. So again, we can attach a video or Facebook with a link to a website, or we can upload it directly from our computer, or you can send something and post it directly from your webcam. So again, in your status update box, you're going to click photo, and in this case, use webcam. Once you click that, it's going to open up a little info box, and this is just giving your computer permission for Facebook to access your webcam. You click, you check on allow, and I think this is going to look the same way on Apple as it is to PC. But you just allow the access, and it's going to open a very familiar interface. There's going to be a big record button. You look in your camera, you click that record button, you smile, and you deliver whatever it is that you want to say. If you've got a joke, that's great. If you have a comment that you just want to put there instead of typing it in, it's going to be a little bit more, again, interactive, and your community, your network on Facebook might like that approach as well. This isn't something that's used real commonly that I've seen. There's a few people that use it well, but most people, if they send their status updates, it's either text alone or they've added a photograph or a video. Now, that's posting your own content. Let's look at how you can interact with that content that your friends place. Now, in this one graphic, we're going to talk about 3 different concepts: sharing, liking, and commenting. So this is a picture that I shared. It was not mine originally. I didn't upload this. I found this from the Cool Hunter. He's not even a friend of mine. I was just somehow got in front of his profile or found this photograph. And I thought, well, that's pretty cool. I want to share that with my Facebook community. I clicked, and it looked just like this. I clicked on share. I added my comment and clicked post. That post then appeared in my timeline as if it came from me, with the exception of it credits the photograph originator. So I can do this with any link or a photograph or a video that somebody else originally posts. Now from there, somebody can see that and they can come along and like this. This little icon of the thumbs up with the 1 indicates to me that somebody came and clicked the like button. Well, what does the like button mean? It just means somebody liked it. It really is kind of just a tap on the shoulder to me that my friend says, hey, I saw this. I don't have a comment. Maybe I don't have the time. Maybe I just don't have the desire. But yeah, I saw what you posted. It's cool. I liked it. It doesn't take any effort on their part except just one click of a mouse. It's done and it's over at that point. If they wanted to go a little bit more in depth, they can click comment, and that's going to open this comment box down there, and as this example shows, you can just say whatever you want to about that piece that I shared. Now the cool thing is that as soon as anybody likes or comments or interacts with my post, I'm going to get this little notification, that little number up here by the little earth icon, and that's going to give me the notification of who interacted with me and how they did it. So somebody liked my comment, somebody liked a post, somebody else commented on a photo. So that's all well and good. Again, it's just kind of a heads up that I know who's interacting with me and who's seeing what I post on Facebook. Now, a lot of people ask me about tagging. They say, what is tagging? And isn't it an invasion of my privacy? And how did I get tagged on somebody else's photograph? And can't I control that? It's not that big a deal, really, especially since now that I know you have already gone through the modules on privacy settings and visibility settings of your posts. But let's take a look at this. Tagging really is a way to attach the name of a person to a photograph or a video that you're sharing on Facebook. In this case, I've posted a picture. I can click this little button that says tag photo or the link that says tag this photo, and it's going to let me attach the names of the people who are in the photograph. Once I've clicked that tag button, as I move my cursor around the picture, it's going to identify things that Facebook thinks are somebody's head or somebody's face. When that square is there, I'm going to click that, and it's going to open up this little window here, and I'm going to type in the person's name. Once I've typed that name, my options are going to, Facebook options are going to show up down here. I'm going to click on the right selection, the right name, and then I'm going to go to another place, and maybe I can put the square above her face and I can add her name, and I can even put the square above her face and I can add her name or his. Once I'm done tagging everybody in the picture that I know or that I want to, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click Done Tagging. And from there, that's going to update my post. And you're going to see that right now, right here, it says with Tim Tebow. It has a link. It's identified him. When I mouse over this, it's going to show this square. So as a viewer, I can say, yep, there's Tim. If I click on that, that's going to take me to his profile page. And if there's anybody else tagged in this, same thing. If I hover over their name, it's going to show me the square in the place in the photograph where that person is. So that's tagging. Tagging a celebrity or a famous person has its limited use, but let's take a more realistic example of the way common people are going to use tagging. In this example, there was a local art class that was held at an art studio. So there was a class of about a couple dozen people, showed up. At the end of the class, they all posed with their art and took a photograph. So the person who owns the photograph they uploaded it to their Facebook profile, or rather as a status update, and they tagged all these people in it. So they identified as many people as they could that appear in the picture. Now the cool thing about this is it really kind of creates a little network or a little community just around this one single picture. Because first of all, it identifies all the people in the picture. It also, down here, provides a link to the profiles of anybody in the picture. So if people in that class wanted to keep in touch on Facebook, this is a great way for them to be able to connect and maybe continue their relationships. Another thing is that tagging identifies the person who was tagged. And that person is going to get a notice, hey, you know what? You were tagged in a photograph. Come check it out. So they're going to then see this photograph. So if they didn't bring their camera, they didn't get a chance to take a picture of the group, this is one way that they can share the picture as well. So let's say I'm in this group, somebody else shared it, I was tagged in it, I got the notification. I'm going to come over here and I can just click that download button and boom, now I've got that photograph. So kind of a cool feature there, and that's a much more common way and more sensible way of using that tag feature. Now, a lot of people are worried about privacy. We already went over privacy settings, and that included tagging, even though maybe at the time you didn't understand quite what tagging was. But in order to take a look at the exact definitions of tags and who sees what, this is the official line from Facebook. So Facebook says that if I tag somebody in a photograph, it's visible to the audience that I choose. It's also visible to the person who I tagged and their friends, assuming that I set it to friends. And same reason, by the same token, it's visible to anybody that I tagged in that photograph. Now, anytime somebody tags me, that's going to show up on my profile timeline. So I can, if I don't want it there, I can remove the post entirely. I can make sure that as a default setting, I can review the posts before they show up on my timeline. I can remove the tag entirely, or I can adjust the visibility settings of that, just so I can have absolute control over who sees that tag. So let's take a look at a real live example. So the people in this picture that has somebody tagged in it is one person. So there's my friend. I don't even see him in the picture, but he's tagged in the album rather than a specific photograph. So my friend is Eric. We're connected on Facebook. He was tagged in somebody else's album. I don't know this somebody else, and I don't know this other place. No big deal, right? The reason this post showed up in my timeline is because it showed up on my friend. I'm sorry. This picture showed up in my news feed. It showed up on my news feed because it was on my friend's timeline. It was on my friend's timeline because he was tagged in this guy's picture. This guy tagged him in that picture. Complex? Just remember, if it shows up in your timeline, if something shows up in your timeline, that information is shared with the people that you are friends with. So again, in a previous module, we looked at privacy settings, but just real quick in summary, in review, my general recommendation for most people is to toggle this to on when it says tag review of tags that friends want to add to your posts. That basically says, do you want people to be able to tag things that are on your post that you put on your timeline originally? If you want to have a lot of interaction by your friends on your page, on your profile, you can leave that to off. Otherwise, click it to on. The main setting is going to be this third one. It's the visibility of the post that you're tagged in as soon as they reach your timeline. So if you want to be real conservative and are worried about anybody seeing anything, you just select this drop down and choose only me. So that means only you have visibility of those tags. So again, I know we covered this in a previous module, but it's a good time now that you have a good idea of what tags really are, to go back and double check those settings and just make sure they're set to the way you want them to be set. So we looked at uploading one picture at a time as part of a status update, but you can actually update a whole photograph album, a whole photo album. Let's say that you went on vacation to Yosemite and you have a dozen pictures that you want to upload and share with your friends. You can create an album called Yosemite. You can create an album called anything you want. Quick note before we go on though, all the photographs that you uploaded individually, just one at a time as status updates, they're going to be directed to a album that Facebook has created for you, and they've titled it Wall Photos. They're moving away from that term wall and they're using timeline, so they're probably going to rename that album Timeline Photos at some point. So jumping over live, just so that you can stay with me on where we're at. From my own timeline or my profile, which is where I land if I click my name, I'm going to click on Photos, and that's going to show all my photo albums. Here's my Casa Bonita photo album. And from here, if I want to make a new album, I can just click on Add Photos, which brings up the dialog box back in our presentation. I'm just going to click Select Photos, and that's going to let me navigate on my own computer to the photographs that I want to upload. As those photographs are uploading, it's going to present me with another dialog box. So I can name the album, I can identify the location if I want to, and that's not required. And of course, just as with every post you ever do, you can choose your visibility setting here. Now it has another option here, standard definition or high resolution on your photographs. If there's a special particular reason you have for wanting to share the high resolution photograph, that's fine, but otherwise just click standard, because you're going to grow old waiting for these things to upload. So as soon as you've got that part finished, you just click on Create Album, and that will have created the new album for you. And of course, anytime you add new content, it's going to have that little notification on your timeline that you added a new photo album, and that information is going to be shared with your friends as well. Just keep that in mind. There's a couple of other pieces that I wanted to share with you, even though that's really the meat and potatoes of sharing on Facebook. There's a couple of other pieces. One is called Life Events. It's something that Facebook has just introduced, and again, it's fall of 2011. Life events are identified by these little icons to the right side of your status update box. One is a briefcase, a heart, a house, etc. They each stand for different things. The briefcase is for things like professional events. The heart is things related to your personal life, your romance, your emotional life. The house, obviously things like where you lived. If you bought a car, you can share that as a major event, a life event rather. The next one is health. You can talk about how you broke a bone or you had surgery or overcame an illness. If I click on this overcame an illness, it's going to bring up this dialog box where I can identify what the illness was. I can identify when I had it. So, let's say I had a cold sore in October of 2011. The people that stood by me were my friend Dane and Joe and Tom and Julie, and I can tell you all the stories about all the details about it, and I can even upload a photograph of my cold sore. So In all reality, this is probably going to be used by somebody who might have overcome a more serious or debilitating disease and just want to maybe give a little props to the people that stood by their side or supported them while they got better. The final category is just kind of sundry miscellaneous hobbies and other things that you just might want to consider a life event. Now, Facebook is going to highlight these on your timeline or on your profile. And the people that it's going to update, if some people are only subscribed to receive your most important updates, these are the ones that they're going to get notified about. So if somebody's just kind of a casual relationship with you and maybe they're just interested to know if you move or if you have a baby or something like that, that's how that information is going to be conveyed. Another piece that's not used too often really on Facebook, but I've seen it used pretty effectively in the right situations. It's called questions. And as part of a status update or as a status update, if you click that little icon that says ask questions, you can actually create a poll. So you're just going to write in your question here and you can add multiple choice options. So option A, option B. If you check this box down here, you can allow somebody else to add in option C or D or E. Just like with any other status update, you can select your own visibility setting. And when you click post, that asks that question. It's basically a status update in the form of a question poll. And when somebody clicks on that, it's going to bring up this dialog box. So they're going to say, all right, here's the question. Choose your answer and submit it. People can actually comment down here just like they can comment on any other photograph or status update that you've created. So it's kind of cool. Well, given the right context and the right topic, it can be kind of cool. It's something that, again, I've not seen used very much by many people. Keep in mind, as soon as you answer that question, that's going to go to your wall, your timeline. So your friends will know how you answered that question, and it also give them a prompt, an opportunity to answer the same question as well. So that's it. That's the nuts and bolts, the meat and potatoes of sharing on Facebook, both sharing your own content and interacting with other people on the content that they've shared with you. So get out there on Facebook. You've already adjusted your privacy settings, so you don't have to worry too much about sharing the wrong thing with the wrong people. Go ahead and do some status updates. Share some photographs, share some videos. Just go to YouTube and find something that's cute or funny or something that you might want to just share with your limited connection on Facebook so far. But keep in mind, when you're creating your network on Facebook or any other social media platform, especially at the beginning, it's important to choose your network selectively. That means just your close friends, your family members, the people who you probably interact with in real life anyway. Once you're comfortable with how the platform works and how the sharing works, you can expand that network to the point where you're comfortable. So, good luck finding and using your voice on Facebook, and I look forward to seeing you in the future modules.